If you're here, you should know that I'm a kindness influencer and a leader with a mission to inspire people to perform acts of random kindness since I was 10 years old. I believe that kindness is your superpower, and I believe that the currency of kindness is a stronger force for lasting change, more than money ever has or ever could be. Our guest Parker today believes that there are two other forms of currency that are most valuable in today's world. Let's find out what they are together.
It's time to be kind with Marley Q.
Because the time to be kind to ourselves, each other, and the world is now.
Hello, and thank you for making time to be kind with Marley Q and my special guest, Parker, today. Diana Castro is a video producer, a video strategist, the co-founder of 4 Productions, and the host of Leaders with a Mission, a TV show and podcast that I've had the pleasure and honor of being a guest on. I will link it in the show notes, yes. But I want you to help me bring to the stage my friend, Diana Castro.
Hello, Marley. Thank you for bringing me over.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for making the time to be kind. I know you're a busy leader with a mission yourself. You're a busy mama as well. So thanks for carving out the time. I know it's not easy.
I know, but hey, anytime there's any conversations about kindness, I want to be part of it.
I love that. Me too. Count me in for any conversations about kindness. So for our Parkers listening and those who may be joining us for the first time, could you tell our audience what's a Parker?
Okay, that's a very easy acronym for people that perform random acts of kindness.
Yes, I love it. Yes, it is. People that perform acts of random kindness are Parkers like you and me, and leaders, right? These kind leaders that we are uniting and inspiring and influencing each and every week to make more time to be kind to ourselves, right? So that we can fill that cup and be more of service and stronger in our mission. You know, I talk a lot about the power of kindness and the currency of kindness. And I believe that that is the most valuable currency that if we were to value it, could make radical shifts in our world, in our culture, in the way that we experience life. But you believe that there are 2 other forms of currency. Can you enlighten me?
Of course. Okay. So I believe that video and influence and impact are this world's new currency. How we show up in the world, the kind of legacy that we live, the digital legacy that we leave is a new kind of currency that we have access to.
Yeah, and one that I've really had to step into a little bit against my will. And it's taken a few years. We've known each other for a few years of me consistently practicing stepping in front of a camera, behind the mic, and amplifying this message of kindness and its power. So I do agree with you that the only way that as a kindness influencer, I'm going to succeed in my mission to spread kindness worldwide is if I valued the currency of video, visibility, and influence, right? And that's what you do and what you help people do each and every day. Can you tell us about, the thought leaders and the mission-driven entrepreneurs, the people that you work with? How do you see kindness even plays a part in their leadership style?
So my personal definition of kindness, or the way I see kindness, very similar to my definition of leadership because they intertwine. There's an intersection. I believe that people who are kind and who have qualities of leadership, they are very in tune with their inner mission. They are very in tune with their service and their purpose. And when one is able to identify how we can serve at a higher level, how to amplify the emotional state of others, how to be supportive, how to hold space for others, how to be kind to ourselves, how to listen to our own intuition, that is, to me, the way that leaders show up. I think leadership and kindness are sisters, and they work together to support others, amplify their world, amplify their message, amplify their vision, create a better world. It just elevates the vibration of humanity. That's what I believe.
I agree with that belief. Count me in that world. Absolutely. So Diana, tell us, how specifically can people use video to enhance that currency, right, of visibility and influence that you're talking about? And how can stepping into that really help us amplify our mission?
Well, I believe that video is like this time capsule. It's like this machine that multiplies us. like I see all these shows about to be able to copy yourselves, copy paste, so that we could be doing multiple things at one time. I believe that is the magic of video. We can capture and encapsulate an idea, a time in a moment in life, a message, a feeling, a story. And with the power of social media, with the power of TV, and with the power of all of the devices that we have, we get to multiply ourselves over and over and over and over and over again, meaning that our voice could be heard and could be in front of millions of people. And that is such a powerful way. So for me, my invitation or our mission with my husband is to amplify the voices and messages of those who are here to do good in the world. And the way we define doing good in the world is people who are here to awaken people to feel loved, feel accepted, feel healthier, wealthier, feel aligned to their mission, feel on purpose, people who are here to give messages of hope. So if people are able to capture their message and step into their greatness, into their embodiment of their mission, the world will be such a good place, because video as a medium to amplify messages is unbiased and anyone can have at it. What I often see is that most of the generic media that is out there is not necessarily serving the greater good, because those who are here to do the greater good sometimes can get on their way because they are insecure about their message, or maybe they have imposter syndrome, or maybe they don't know how to package or how to voice their message in a way that it feels authentic to them. And that's what I feel like our mission is, to allow them and provide them with the support and the tools so that they can do that. So for me, video is just this amazing, magical superpower that allows us to create impact, but also allows us to create legacy. And for years and years to come, for our great grandkids to know who they came from and what we were about, and the messages that we brought forward, and how our existence can matter and make impact through the times. And that's what this medium allows us to do. So thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for giving a voice to kindness, to make it something that people can cheer for and can feel associated with, because we all want to belong somewhere, and it takes brave people to bring messages that can do that for us.
I'm receiving that. I'm just gonna smile and take that in. There was so much good there that you shared, and I feel that as a leader with a mission, I first just want to say thank you for seeing me as a leader with a mission, somebody that is doing her best and has been doing her best to share a message of kindness with people, to do exactly what you shared, to inspire, to influence, to give people hope, to, see that, we can elevate mankind together with this simple superpower that we all have called kindness. And it does take a lot of courage. So thank you for seeing that and just acknowledging me for that, because it's taken a lot of courage. Now people see me. I've been on this journey for some time now. And people, see my video content now that is pretty consistent, or they'll see my TED Talk, right? Or they'll see me on Leaders with a Mission on your TV show and podcast, and they'll be like, "Wow, Marley, you're such a natural speaker, and you are made for podcasts." And I receive those compliments. And I also want to say, no, I've really worked on this. If it were up to me, I would be in my own way of sharing my voice and sharing my message, right? If it wasn't for the universe and its beautiful way that the currency of kindness comes back to us, I don't know that I would have ever done a TED Talk, right? It was just somebody that was sitting in an audience when I delivered one of my very first keynote talks about about performing acts of random kindness. That student graduates 6+ years later, is leading a TEDx talk, and is like, I know exactly who needs to speak at this event. And I bypassed all of the hurdles that you need to take in order to do a TED Talk. I just kind of went, I was the person that they chose to speak at this thing. And I was so honored. I don't know that I would have, chosen that for myself. It took a lot of courage. I was 3 months pregnant. All I wanted to do was say, no, thank you. I just wanted to throw up on stage. I had never written a speech, right? I've spoken. I'm more of a speaker from my heart. I'll have some talking points, but I've never a script, right? That we needed to follow and stand on the little red rug for 18 minutes and look into the camera. All these things are so outside of my comfort zone. And I'm just grateful for the call within me to have been louder than my like fear and resistance to it, because that talk has, sparked so much, right? And the pandemic forcing to pivot into virtual events, and now even be able to have my podcast and spread this message through video, just like you said, not just for the immediate impact, but for the ripple effect, for the legacy, for the lasting impact that it can have when someone watches my TEDx talk still to this day. And I did that, in 2018, for example, right? It's still making an impact. So thank you for acknowledging that and for doing the work that you do to bring that courage and that authenticity and that message and those stories out of people, so that, the fear of being on video and, kind of not having your voice yet and kind of sounding weird, the more you practice that, the more you get out of your way and get better at it, right? And then people say, oh, you're a natural. And you're like,
thank you.
Thank you.
That is true. It is true. We're not born learning how to talk, and it is challenging, yet we learned. We were not born with the ability to walk. It's something that we learn. And unlike kids, I see adults being so harsh to themselves sometimes when they're in the process of learning. We can be our own worst critic. Yeah. So it's just it doesn't help us to be so harsh on ourselves. It's just part of it. It's going to suck at the beginning. It's going to get sore for a second. And that's just part of it. Like, embrace it. It's part of it. There's no going around it. So like, you can't avoid it. Don't fight it. It's just allow it to flow.
It's a part of the process. That's what I'm hearing. It's a part of the process. And, when I started doing Facebook Lives, I think the trick for me is just to never look back, like never just replay anything that I did when I was practicing. I remember I went on Snapchat. I just started doing anything that I could just go on video to practice, looking in there and saying hello and not feeling super weird and all in my head about it. It took quite a bit of practice. So for me, the trick is never look back, just keep practicing. And every single time, you'll feel a little more ease in the process, so that really your message and your story, your heart can shine and impact the people that it's meant to impact, rather than you being all in your own head about feeling uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, keep on.
I love it. So I want to ask you, when we're talking about leaders with a mission in your TV show and your podcast, was there like a particular story or something that you can point to that has impacted you the most of all of the interviews that you've done? Like, what about it has maybe resonated with you the most that inspires you to keep going and keep doing this work?
Oh my God. That's a really interesting question, because I feel like everyone that comes to the show, it's such a leader with a mission, and each person has a different take on leadership. Like, I love being able to having conversations that allow me to see someone else's perspective, someone else's point of view. And I cannot think of one. Like, there's so many. We had Michelle Villalobos, we have Dr. Aaron Wilkerson, I've had Roy Assad, who he has the most beautiful definition for leadership. And there's so many people, there's people. I don't have one person that I can say this is because everyone has been a joyride to bring over to the show. I'm just at awe that I get to do it, and I get to have fun, and I get to explore that. I feel while I'm inside of that world of leaders with a mission, I can only feel so much blessings surrounding me. I get to work with my wonderful husband. I get to bring my girls to support me. At this point, I have a 12-year-old, an 8-year-old, and an 8-month-old. But obviously, my 8-month-old has not come to support me. But Sophia and Daniela have come to set, and they take photos, and they help me with wardrobe. And I get to be surrounded by so much beautiful people who are just gifts to the universe, like Dr. Foreman, who's dedicated to helping people find their way back to health, and people who are devoted to huge missions, like allowing people to find hope through adversity. There's just so much beauty that I can't choose. It's like choosing one of your children. How do you do that? I can't do it.
I put you on the spot.
Some people have said leadership is all about love. Some people have said leadership is not only towards others, but it's something from within. Some other people have said leaderships are the dealers of hope. hope. Like I love the fact that everyone has their own definition and there's no right or wrong. It's just it's their own. But for me, like I mentioned at the opening of the show, I've been reflecting on that for me personally, on me saying, oh, I get to show up in leadership. And when I get to ask myself, what is leadership for me based on this current point in my life, is leadership comes from within. Leadership comes from self-understanding one's strengths, one's missions, one's wants, and being able to communicate it properly and being able to be supportive of others who are around us to better come to an agreement of an outcome and do it in the best possible way. Sometimes it takes different levels of leadership. Sometimes it's tough love in leadership. Sometimes there's grace in leadership. Sometimes there's confrontation in leadership. So the beautiful thing is that it's expansive. It's not contractive. It morphs and shapes to different ways with the outcome of the better, greater good of whoever is within that capsule or that coverage of leadership. So my husband and I are the leaders of our household. So we have our kids follow our leadership. We follow our leadership. We get to lead each other in different ways. Where I am weak, my husband's strong. Where he's strong, I might not be as competent as him. So there's just is the beautiful blend of strengths and grace and kindness and inner wisdom that comes from leading. So yeah, wow, that was a long answer with my own personal definition.
Love it. I love it. Yes. You are surrounded by leaders, and you are a leader, and you're surrounded by leaders all the time. And sometimes having the opportunity to pause and reflect on your definition of leadership at a different stage in your life is super important. I always say without reflection, you see no growth. And we are constantly evolving as leaders, right? When I became a mom 5 years ago, my goodness, my definition of leadership really had to step up, right? And I thought I was a leader before. I've been a leader, right, all my life. So checking in and seeing, what your definition of leadership is as you go through different stages and transitions in your life, I think is a really good and powerful practice. So thank you for sharing your light, your love, your definition of leadership with me and our Parkers listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. I really hope that you enjoyed making time to be kind today with me and Diana. If you're a leader with a mission and you're ready to elevate your currency of kindness, visibility, and influence with the power of video, then head on over to marleyq.com/this episode number for the links to connect with Diana and her team at 4 Productions. If you have not yet joined our kind crew, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Every week I invite you to join us over on our private Facebook group page. The link to join is also on marleyq.com/this episode number. I want to give a quick shout out to a couple of Parkers that have been leaving us reviews on Apple. Thank you, Mivi Lobos, for saying that our podcast is uplifting and inspiring, and that you can always count on my energy being pure of love and joy. Yay! Thank you, Kay Rotundo, for saying that this podcast is beyond words, and Bald Trekkie, simple and to the point. Listening to these podcasts have become a part of my routine, and I look forward to each new release. Marley talks in a way that gets the critical points across while also making you feel good about yourself. Woo! You definitely made me feel good about myself, Bald Trekkie. Thank you for leaving a kind review on Apple. Now it's your turn. Head on over to marleyq.com/this episode number for all the links to connect and leave us a great review. Thank you again for making time to be kind with Marley Q. I'll see you next time.